Have you ever set goals just to watch them fizzle out a few weeks later and leave you disappointed? You know, we make fun of New Year's resolutions for this, but it doesn't just happen to resolutions. It happens to almost every goal that we set, and that is a tragedy. We set goals in our mind, on our phones, and if we're honest, we hardly ever achieve them at the rate that we should. We plan with calendars, reminders, habit trackers, and so much more. Yet again, we're still left with less than 9% of people achieving their goals each year. That statistic is actually baffling and truly awful. How sad must 91% of people feel year after year that their goals aren't becoming their reality? Well, that is exactly why this channel exists and exactly what I'm going to help you solve today in this video. So whether you're part of the 91% that struggles to reach your goals each year, or whether you're part of the 9% looking to improve or fail-proof your chances at achieving your goal this year, this video and channel is for you. But if we haven't met yet before, my name is Kenneth Kolesh, and I'm a champion ballroom dancer, a pastor, and author turned certified business and life coach, and I'm here to help you achieve your goals. So if winning in business and life is important to you, go ahead and subscribe to get free coaching and resources from me all year long on this channel. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably already instinctively know which camp you fall under. The 9% that have been achieving their goals, or the 91% that aren't. But either way, today I'm going to be showing you the exact goal achievement system I used to go from being one of the 91% feeling truly miserable year after year because I just couldn't seem to win in life in the way I wanted to becoming one of the 9% that enjoy fulfillment, confidence, and the joy really that comes from being the kind of person that achieves their goals year after year. Now, this is not going to be me bragging about what I've been able to accomplish by switching from traditional planning and goal setting to the goal achievement system I'm going to be sharing with you. No, this is going to be me shedding light on some of the truly downright ugly as well as the good, so you can see exactly why this goal achievement system of mine is so much more effective for those that want to truly win in business and life. So let's get into it, starting with, well, the ugly. Here are some of the failures, disappointments, and struggles that I had while using a traditional planning and goal setting approach in my life. And keep in mind, this whole time throughout the ugly moments and even the results, I had big dreams, I had big goals, and honestly, I planned ferociously. So I couldn't really blame it on lack of effort or intention or even motivation. Okay, so here we go. First, I was massively egotistical and really a downright jerk to be around. Imagine one of your favorite movies with that villain that you absolutely hate. That was me, but in real life. I was the definition of the person that really didn't listen when they said, "Don't let that go to your head." Whoops. All my big dreams, my planning and effort actually made me think that I was better than other people that weren't doing those things. And ironically, it undermined my ability to accomplish any of those goals that I had. Because after all, you can accomplish small goals alone, but the big, meaningful goals take a tribe to accomplish. And, well, I absolutely repelled any tribe. Second, I was obsessed with dreaming and planning, but not measuring and being accountable. This is a classic side effect of traditional planning and goal setting methods. I was all hope and intention, which sounds phenomenal, but without any room for facing hard facts or constructive criticism, my hopes and the big intentions stayed in the land of fantasy instead of getting rooted in reality. And knowing whether the numbers are going up or down isn't focusing on the negative. It's actually being educated. Understanding how others think and feel and experience you and your goals isn't inviting the naysayers, it's actually being prudent. And if there's one thing that I really messed up on, it was obsessing over what I thought was right or even what I could do without inviting in outside feedback from real people or even metrics that I could track. And lastly, even though I could really go on for about forever about all the mistakes that I made during the traditional planning and goal setting days, lastly, I was ineffective. I was failing. I was disappointed. I was becoming depressed. My schooling didn't go well. My sports dreams got self-sabotaged. My career life wasn't panning out either. I was truly a mess. I remember actually one time at the gas station putting literally 77 cents into the tank because that is actually all I had left in my bank account. So I could just go to the next job and repeat the broken cycle all over again. I remember having longtime friends finally text me saying, "We love you, Kenneth, but we can't take you anymore. We honestly don't want to be friends any longer, and we really don't want you contacting us ever again." That broke my heart. And I remember turning 25 after being married for 5 years and my wife looking at me saying, "I can't believe we're still stuck here after all this time and all this effort and all this hard work." Guys, it was ugly. The traditional planning and goal setting methods that I thought worked because books from 50 and 100 years ago said so, none of that was working for me. It wasn't working for my family and it wasn't working for my future. So let's just say I was definitely not winning in business and life. However, when I embraced the goal achievement system that I'm gonna share with you today, things finally started turning around. Eventually, I began gaining momentum, and now I'm absolutely in love with the way I approach achieving my goals, day in, day out, month in, month out, and even every year. So like I mentioned before, since switching from traditional planning and goal setting methods to a goal achievement system, I've been able to live out some of my most memorable and most meaningful dreams and goals and moments in business and life. I became a man worthy of being a husband to my wife, Caroline. I became a champion ballroom dancer and Latin dancer with my wife as my partner. We didn't kill each other on most days. I became a top producer in the dance company I worked for as number 9 and number 11 in the world. I published my first book called Beating Average, and I became an ordained pastor even by a board of my peers and mentors. I've succeeded in different business models now as an entrepreneur. And most importantly, I'm actually happy and fulfilled and confident as a person who can achieve my goals year after year. And by the way, a side note for my friends of faith out there, I follow Jesus. And in no way do I take credit for all of this. I got saved early on in this process of succeeding and failing. So I've learned what it is to strive by my own strength and merit, and what it is like to trust in the grace of God and His goodness. So take what I say, knowing that it's Christ in me that has accomplished all of these things, and honestly, Christ alone who gets all the credit and the glory for it. Okay, now that we've gotten the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's time to show you exactly what my goal achievement system looks like. First is my full focus physical planner. Second is my Hero on a Mission digital planner. Third is my Trello Workspaces. Fourth is my Google Calendar. And fifth is my to-do app. So let's break down each step of my system so you can get a good look at why this is so much more effective than traditional planning and goal setting for achieving your goals. First is my full focus physical planner. Now, I mentioned that it's a physical planner on purpose because, well, it only comes in a physical format, which I love, and I'll explain more about in my next video. But what is a full focus planner, and why is it the first step of my goal achievement system instead of the third or fourth or even the fifth step? Well, to me, it is my most important and foundational resource for getting my entire life into perspective. It takes into account not just my business and career, but it also takes into account the other crucial areas of my life, like my faith and family and health and so on and so forth. So to me, my full focus planner is the top of the funnel where it is really wide and open for goals and ideas and feedback to get poured into. And in it, I do 7 extremely important things. First, I set my current mission, vision, and values based on the season that I'm actually in. Second, I set my annual goals and lay out those steps of goals in detail. Third, I lay out my calendar in detail for the next quarter and a general overview for the next 12 months. Fourth, I lay out my ideal week, set my daily routines, and I list my most important projects for that quarter. Fifth, I reflect on the previous week and plan my next week accordingly. Sixth, I plan each day, and at the end of the day, I list my daily wins. And finally, I do a reflection and accountability session at the end of every quarter. Now, in my next video, I'm gonna be going into a deep dive into my full focus planner so you can see exactly how I use it daily, weekly, and even quarterly. But for now, let's keep moving onto the second step of my goal achievement system, my Hero on a Mission digital planner. Now again, I mentioned that this is a digital planner on purpose because although you could print out this planner, hole punch it, and stick it into a binder to use, I highly recommend using the digital format of this, especially since the full focus planner is already perfectly filling all of our needs for a physical planner. So what is the Hero on a Mission planner? And why is it second of my goal achievement system instead of third, fourth, or even in last? Well, to put it frankly, I'm a bit impatient. I was the kid in the classroom that couldn't keep still, couldn't wait to actually go do something with what we were learning instead of sitting and listening to someone pontificate on and on and on about it. To me, my Hero on a Mission planner is the first place I get to feel like I'm actually starting to get into the real work of achieving my goals. And since I'm a bit impatient and honestly get bored rather quickly just thinking about things, I needed this to be my second step of my goal achievement system. And in it, I do 5 extremely important things. First, I write out my eulogy and life statements. Now, don't be too freaked out about that. I'll explain this more in a later video. Second, I set my 10, 5, and 1 year goals for my personal and my professional life. Third, I list, organize, and track my quarterly goals. Fourth, I set my daily priorities, list my appointments, and check off my routines. And finally, I preflect and reflect on each day. Now, like I mentioned, I'll be doing a video later, deep diving into my Hero on a Mission planner so you can see exactly how I use it every day. But for now, let's keep on going to the third step of my goal achievement system, my Trello Workspaces. So what is a Trello Workspace and why is it third on my goal achievement system? Well, I'm glad you asked. If you're not familiar with Trello, you might be familiar with Monday.com or Asana or really any other visual project management software. And although this isn't a video about Trello or sponsored by them or anybody, to be honest, this is a great tool as a visual learner like me and a processor like me to be able to drag and drop and see all of my projects at once. To me, my Trello Workspaces are like a gigantic corkboard where I can get the bazillion thoughts and ideas in my mind onto a digital dashboard. Because for a 33-year-old external processor like me, my brain can kind of get a little bit like a circus rather than a boardroom at times. And if I don't get some of these animals out of my brain and onto something physical and tangible, then I will feel exhausted. And in my Trello Workspaces, I do 3 extremely important things. First, I list out my projects and their steps to completion. Second, I create tasks for each step and notes for later on. And finally, I use automations to seamlessly manage my tasks, steps, and projects. And just like the previous 2 steps, I'll be doing a video later on diving deeper into my Trello Workspaces so you can see exactly how I use it day in, day out. But for now, let's move on to the 4th step of my goal achievement system, my Google Calendar. Now, I know you know what a Google Calendar is, but do you want to know how I use it and why it is the 4th step of my goal achievement system? Well, of course you do. Thousands of people use a digital or physical calendar, but there must be something different about how the 9% are using it that are actually achieving their goals versus the 91% that aren't and they don't achieve their goals. So what could the difference be? To me, my Google Calendar is as important to me as my bank account. Really and truly, if not more. They both represent resources within my control and in my responsibility to manage skillfully and wisely. I'll spend both. And in fact, my Google Calendar, AKA my time, is even more precious of a resource to spend because once I spend it, there's no getting it back. Trust me, I've tried. There's no earning it back in the stock market or by flipping real estate. Nope. Once my Google Calendar says today has now become yesterday, it is sealed in eternity. So even though this isn't the first, second, or third step in my goal achievement system, that does not mean it is any less important or that I take it any less seriously. And in my Google Calendar, I do 2 extremely important things. Now don't miss this. First, I say yes to the things and then I enter them in. Second, I say no to things and then I don't enter them in. Wow, shocking. But before you start throwing tomatoes at me through the screen thinking, this isn't a real step, what a waste of time, I'd like to challenge you with this thought. When was the last time you no-showed somebody or forgot about an appointment and rushed out the door because you forgot what you said yes to yesterday, last week, or last month, or even a quarter ago? Now, don't think I'm throwing you under the bus here. Remember, I have been in your shoes and have made all of these same mistakes myself. Remember the good and the bad and the ugly from earlier? But just like the 3 steps previously, I'll be doing a video later on diving deeper into my Google Calendar so you can see exactly how I use it day in and day out to keep myself on track toward achieving my goals. But now let's finish strong with the fifth and final step of my goal achievement system, my to-do app. Now I'm talking about a specific to-do app, literally spelled the number 2 and then do. But I suppose that of course any other decent to-do app out there could do the same thing as this one can. But I can only speak for this one because it is the app that I use for my goal achievement system. And to me, my to-do app is like any other great reminder and checklist app. It carries the burden of remembering so I don't have to. When I commit to doing something that is out of my normal routine or typical schedule, I use my to-do app to record it and remind me in that moment that I really have something important to do. And it even helps with recurring tasks that I just don't want to have to carry mentally around every week or every month, but they are still important tasks that I need to get done. Things like taking out the garbage or checking our monthly subscriptions before they process. And in my to-do app, I do one extremely important thing. I record things in the moment. I don't want to remember later that I committed to doing something and then try and put it in. No, the whole point of this app is to remember for me. So I make sure to record things in the moment right when I commit to them. Now, just like all of the previous steps, I'll be doing a video later on diving deeper into my to-do app as well, so you can see exactly how I use it day in and day out. And that, my friends, is an overview of my entire goal achievement system. The exact system I use every day, every week, and every month, and really every year to achieve my goals. This goal achievement system that has replaced the entire traditional planning and goal setting methods I used to use, I use to do, is the entire reason I am able to win in business and life now, rather than suffering from missed opportunities, damaged self-confidence, and really unmet goals year after year. And in my next video, I'm going to be taking a deep dive into step 1 of my goal achievement system, my full focus planner. So subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can catch that next video right when it drops. And remember, the first 100 people to join my email newsletter will get a free signed copy of my book, Beating Average. So just go to kennethcoaches.com to join before the others beat you to the punch. And I'll see you in the next video.